This is the Seeker24 dual-motor electric bike, and honestly, it looks like something straight out of a futuristic mountain adventure. When I first rolled it out in my driveway, the wild paint job and big, rugged 24-inch fat tires definitely turned some heads, mine included. The way the frame is built, with those thick metal tubes and the dual suspension system, you get this feeling that the bike can take on almost anything you throw at it. I've always been a little skeptical about bold claims on e-bikes, but right off the bat, Seeker24 feels sturdier and more prepared for real off-road action than most e-bikes I've seen online. The color finish is sleek, whether you prefer the all-white style or the more adventurous green. From my experience, jumping onto the Seeker24 for my first quick ride out on the road, I was honestly blown away by its speed. There's a dual motor system here, which means you have power coming from both the front and rear wheels. You get up to 3,000 watt peak output. It's a crazy amount of punch for an e-bike. For anyone just getting into e-bikes, wattage is kind of like your horsepower. The higher it is, the faster you go and the better you can tackle hills. I had a stretch of road with a pretty steep incline, and I wanted to find out if those numbers were just specs or if they'd really make a difference. Honestly, I barely felt the climb. The Seeker24 just zoomed right up, no complaints, and I didn't have to pedal much. Total win in my book. I was a little hesitant before taking it off-road. My yard's not too wild, but the grass, random dips, and loose gravel were a pretty nice little challenge. The dual suspension system really makes a difference. Basically, it's got shocks on both ends. Up front, there's a lockable and adjustable fork shock, and in the center, a race-grade mid-mount shock. For me, it smoothed out the bumps a lot better than some single-suspension e-bikes I've ridden before. I could ride for a long stretch and didn't feel sore like after a regular mountain bike ride. Not gonna lie, the fat tires totally impressed me. If you've never tried riding a fat tire bike, think of them like extra cushy sneakers for your bike. At 4 inches wide, these tires make it super stable, even over gravel, sand, or snow. I took a detour to a park trail that gets muddy and chewed up pretty quick, but the Seeker24 stayed upright and confident the whole time. There's a nice sense of security because the brakes are hydraulic disc brakes, much stronger and more responsive than regular cable brakes. Going downhill, I needed those brakes to bite, and they did. I never felt out of control, even at those higher speeds. Now, let's talk battery, because honestly, that's what makes or breaks any e-bike in daily use. Key features here. The Seeker24 uses a removable 52-volt 25-hour battery. In real terms, that gets you around 55 to 80 miles on pedal assist. I do a mix, sometimes throttle only, sometimes pedal assist. My first day after running errands, climbing hills, and zooming along trails, I still had a couple bars left on the battery indicator, and I had already gone further than I'd usually risk with my old e-bike. Charging takes a good 8 to 10 hours, which isn't super quick, so I usually just plug it in at night, and it's ready for any adventure the next day. From my experience, this is not a lightweight bike. It's a bit heavy when you're moving it around the garage, so if you live in an apartment or have tight storage space, just keep that in mind. With that said, when you're riding it, the weight helps with stability and makes you feel more planted, especially over rough ground or at higher speeds. One thing I noticed, and a few other riders have mentioned too, is that there's sometimes a split-second delay in the front motor kicking in when you punch the throttle. It's not a deal breaker for me. The rear motor always gets going right away. But if you're hoping for instant acceleration every single time, it's something worth noting. Most of the time, I barely noticed unless I was really trying to go from 0 to top speed right away, which honestly isn't how I usually ride. Assembly was straightforward. I did have to spend about half an hour getting the handlebars and pedals on and making sure all the bolts were tight. Rookie tip: hang on to the instructions, especially if you're new to e-bikes, because every little sensor wire connects somewhere, and you really don't want to skip a step. There are some truly thoughtful extras that come with the Seeker24. Things like a phone bag and a portable air pump are included in the box, plus fenders for muddy rides and a decent little lock. As someone who commutes and also takes rides into the actual wild, I appreciate not having to buy those separately. In my opinion, the smart LCD display is a nice touch. You get live readouts for battery, speed, and assist level, and you can even link it up with a phone app to monitor more stats or adjust settings on the fly. If you love tracking your rides or want to play around with different assist levels, this makes it easy and fun. I know not everyone geeks out about tech, but I genuinely enjoyed tapping through the menu and adjusting the power. Ride comfort is another spot where the Seeker24 exceeded my expectations. The saddle is wide and all right for a couple hours out, not the ultra-firm racing style, so road bumps aren't rough on longer trips. You get 7 gears for regular pedaling, so if you run low on battery, you can still power home on your own. Trigger shifters are basic but easy to use, which is good news if you're just getting started with gearing systems. If you're wondering who this bike is for, from my experience, I'd recommend this for anyone who mixes city streets with rugged park or off-road adventures. If you ride rough trails, tackle steep hills, or need a commuter that won't let you down in the rain or snow, you won't be disappointed. The Seeker24 really is perfect for all sorts of terrain. The high weight capacity is handy too. I loaded it up with a heavy backpack and some groceries, and it handled like nothing was different. There are a few points I'd watch for. Like I said, the heavy build means you're not tossing it into your car trunk without a little effort, and if you're not a fan of long charge times, you'll want to plan ahead. Still, for how much range and power you get, those are minor trade-offs. And hey, that delay in the front motor is there, but it's not a showstopper, more like a quirk. In conclusion, if you're new to e-bikes or upgrading from an older model, the Seeker24 dual-motor electric bike really delivers on its promises. The strong motors, long battery life, and tough suspension give you the freedom to ride pretty much anywhere with comfort and peace of mind. The thoughtful extras, smart display, and solid frame make it a great value for anyone who wants a reliable and adventurous e-bike. I've had nothing but a great time exploring new trails, running all over town, and just enjoying every ride. If you love riding or just want to try something different that actually backs up its specs, this is one I'd recommend. Thanks for sticking with me through this quick review. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a comment below if you have any questions or want to share your thoughts. Thank you for watching.